When I turned 50, I started menopause. Folks, I want to let you know the menopause transformation is real, and it can be seismic. Your hormones shift, your sleep pattern starts to change, your metabolism starts to rewrite itself. You look in the mirror and your skin texture looks different. Your bone structure starts to change. And you're looking at your silhouette and it just doesn't quite look the same. You don't really feel comfortable. Oh yeah, and the hot flashes. The hot flashes, you feel like it's not normal. You feel like there's something going on. But in fact, hot flashes is a very normal transformation with menopause. It's normal. But what's our first reaction when this happens? We don't understand what's going on and we get into a panic. We also start to panic about how to hide it, how to mask the change so that we don't lose our social or our professional currency. Imagine, and it happens, you're in an office. I was dressed in business casual and suddenly I'm having a hot flash. Perspiring in front of everybody, dripping with sweat, but then suddenly it stops. And then you start to get cold, you start to get shivers. For many of us, we've been conditioned by $1 billion anti-aging industry to treat this metamorphosis as though it's a disease that needs to be cured, or as a crime that needs to be concealed. We die away the wisdom in our hair, or we dye away the inconvenience of our hair. We try to mask that gray where eventually the color doesn't hold. So then we have to consistently try to find a new process. We also do things like freezing our faces or maybe getting a little nip and a tuck, because if we stop being useful or if we stop being visually appealing to a youth-obsessed world, things are going to change for us. So at 50, I made a conscious choice to stop fighting it, and I decided to let it roll. I let the gray grow out, and I refused hormone therapy. What ultimately happened is that my body just started changing, and honestly, I started to look completely different to myself, but also people around me. And surprisingly, the moment I stopped hiding the transformation, the world around me started to react. They just quietly yet politely started closing the door on me. When I entered my late 50s, I started noticing that shift, and it didn't happen in a big dramatic confrontation. It happened in silence. It's the way that eye contact stops happening. You walk into a room and the men that you've known for years in your industry who are even your own age, suddenly they don't want to talk to you, or they're slightly ignoring you, or they don't engage with you the same way that you were used to anymore. And the decades of experience that you have, the knowledge, that deep knowledge and expertise that you've earned, suddenly it gets bypassed. And I'm just going to say it. It gets bypassed for somebody with a tighter ass or perkier tits. You find yourself being spoken to, but you're not really being listened to. That's tough. When an aging woman steps off that treadmill and embraces her true self, society treats her like a cog in a wheel that's just simply stopped turning. You get pushed into the background. My personal story is, I got sent upstairs. Get her upstairs. Get her away from engagement. Put her in the back room so nobody can see her. Crazy as hell. You're left to navigate this life transition in absolute silence, wondering how you became a ghost in a culture where you spent decades pouring yourself into. This is exactly what cultural isolation feels like. You feel pushed into the back room of life while the rest of the world just simply moves on. moves on to the next distraction. You might be thinking what happened to me personally. It might seem like a sad ending, but no, no, no. For me, it's when I turned 60. When I turned 60, I look in the mirror and I'm satisfied with the fact that I let my hair go silver. At the same time, I see society who wants me to quietly step aside. I want to explain with one little scenario, something that happened to me. I work for Target and I'm walking down the aisle and I see a man, and the man's older than me, and he's looking for something. He looks like he's lost. So I say, "Sir, do you need any help? Is there anything I can do to help?" And he looks at me, a double take, up and down, hesitates, and goes, no, I don't need any help. And so I pop my head and I say, "Well, have a great day." And I just keep on walking. And that's exactly what I mean. It's the discarding, the excuse that I don't need your help. I don't need you to talk to me. We're talking about, dude, I just want to know, do you need help figuring out where the bread aisle is? And I'll give you directions. It's stepping off of that identity of being spoken to by an older woman and how dare that old lady talk to me, to the point where it gets really ridiculous and unimaginable that women have to experience the same shit in this era. So with that said, I'm saying back to society that I'm not backing down. I'm not hiding. And in fact, I'm just getting started. Just because I choose to embrace this season of metamorphosis doesn't mean that I'm going to the back of the room because that's where you want me to go. I'm not doing it to myself. And I'm not letting myself go, and I'm not giving up on myself. I'm standing up for myself. And even though society has, it doesn't mean that I have to take that in emotionally and have it affect my life every day. I choose to wear my gray like it's a crown. Even the wrinkles in my face. The wrinkles in my face are my smile lines, and there's a lot of them. I've had a lot of joy in my life, but I've also had a lot of pain. And you can see the frustrations here. You can see the wins that I've had in joy right here in my laugh, in my crow's feet, which I'm so happy I finally got them. Also, my peace. My peace shows in my face right here. I have a right to do that just like men have the right to do that. And there's something else, and we don't do this enough to ourselves. Men take the position of elder when they reach a certain age in life. And we need to do the same thing too. We need to plant our flag and take that position of elder. Take that position of being the wise one. And it is literally expressed through how we look. The gray hair, the laugh line, the lines of wisdom, the look of wisdom, and the nobility in how we approach things in life. One of the best things that has happened now that men don't gawk at you or look at you anymore is that you really have this time in life to start knowing who you really are, to start discovering who you were truly meant to be, and not exactly how society told you or dictated how you should be. That's the magical part of going through this metamorphosis known as midlife, menopause, however you want to look at it. I chose not to have to run the business or take a lead role. I chose to answer the call to whatever my higher power has set for me. It's a spiritual awakening. It's a blessing that I've made it this far to go through the change so that I could actually be a voice for anybody our age. If you're a woman in your 40s, 50s, and 60s, and you're going through what I went through in the workplace or around the people who you engage with, I want you to know something. You are not alone. You are not batshit crazy. You are not losing your mind. Your isolation that you're feeling is effing real. But it's not a reflection of your worth. Instead, it's a reflection of the world that simply doesn't understand you at this stage in your life. And especially if you decide to embrace it and go for it and show the transformation, you're going to be rocking your world, but you're also rocking their world. So you might as well just be rocking it. In truth, there is power. In authenticity, there is comfort, joy, but also a welcoming to others. People feel very comfortable with you when you are your authentic self. So let me know in the comments where you are in this stage of life. Are you going through it? Are you asking yourself, why the change? Why are people acting different toward you? And not exactly sure what to do. Let me know in the comments. And also let me know if you went through menopause, the hot flashes and everything else, and how you came out of that. Okay, I want to have this conversation below. And I hope this video helped you. And if so, give me a like and a follow. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video.